Hello, scholars. This is your facilitator, Mr. Harris, and I just wanted to come on here just to say I've enjoyed everybody that has participated in this class. I love hearing your stories, whether they've been on the discussion board or whether you sent me some things on the site in the inbox. I've enjoyed every last one of them, and I hope that you take what you've learned here and apply it to your other classes or in your professional lives or in your personal lives. I wanted to share some things with you here to give you some insights now that you've gone through 5 weeks of digital fluency that you might want to think about now that you are more knowledgeable now. Some of these videos you may have seen before already, but now that you are more knowledgeable now, I wanted to see if you are going to have a deeper connection. But let's start off with this. So I don't know if you all have recently tried to log into your Google account, but remember when we talked about phishing? Note, I have not logged in yet, but you see this up here at the top. New look is coming soon. Google is improving its sign-in page with new look and feel. So remember when we were going through and talking about the phishing and how some of the sign-ins will look different. You can detect here and why. So this is a good teachable moment here where Google's letting you know there's something new coming. So don't be alarmed. We're letting you know ahead of time that you might see something different, and then if you wanted to, you could dismiss it. I'm choosing for me not to dismiss it because I just want to have that there just as a reminder that something is coming every time I sign in. So when I see something different, I know to be ready. So I'm seeing all the sign in tools here for that's original to Google, but for me, if I want to learn more about it, I probably could check in here. But if I want to dismiss it, I can click here. But I'm choosing not to do that, just for my protection in case anything phishing happens, which is probably not. But I'm gonna keep a lookout for it. There are for some of you, I did talk about some videos to look at, but I just want to share a lot of them with you all. This isn't an assignment, but I would love for you guys to take a look at them and tell me what you think. It's a lot, it's very extensive, but I want to break some down to you now that you know what you know. So I want to start off with, for some of you, the social dilemma. This is something that I often watch all the time. It's a documentary about, like you see here, human impact on social networking with the tech experts sounding alarm on their own creations. I'm literally reading that off. This is talking about what is social media doing to us, and these are people who work in social media. We're talking about people who work who work at Pinterest, who work at X, who work at Facebook, who work at Google, and we're not talking about people who are at the entry level. We are talking about people who are like in the VP section who have moved on and they have some stories to tell, and how this has impacted their life and what data is possibly being taken um, uh, from you as you're going and integrating and implementing using these social media tools. So it's just something for you to think about as you are using social media tools. So we did talk about that throughout the course. And another one that I want you to look at, this is way off, but as some of you know, I am a gamer. And I'm just gonna play this a bit. You're not gonna hear anything, but um, my favorite games to play are like the horror genre games, and um, I am a big fan of The Last of Us. I love the series that was on HBO Max, and I did not know that there was a documentary. I think there's a documentary if you after you beat the game or somewhere in the game where you can look at actually this making of The Last of Us 2. What I love about this is it's taking you from how it got started all the way to its release, even what happened during the COVID period. So this really gives you an insight as to um, who plays what in getting this video game produced. So think about um, all the things you know knew about this course, especially that assignment that we looked at when it came to the, what was it, the, I think the OnStar assignment course, where you had to pick a title and you had to decide um, what was the hot ticket that you really needed to know. Relate that to this, because there are so many people in this field that that create this one game. There's so many moving parts. So I want you to take a look at that. This is how long is this? This is about 2 hours. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. So I thought you might enjoy that. The next one that I want you to take a look at, and this is playing too, so there's no sound, is what is called Amazon Empire: The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos. It's a full documentary. This was very eye-opening. It's questioning how far basically is too far with Amazon. How is it really taking over the world? Like, how convenient is Amazon? Are we really what's the word I'm looking for? Are we really dependent on Amazon like that? Is it really taking over like we think it's taking over? Um, it's very eye-opening, some things to think about. It kind of goes it kind of is relation to the social dilemma. Again, this is about 2 hours long. A lot of these are about 2 hours long, so again, it's something to think about as far as what we're doing in our daily life. I know that's part of like our digital fluency scores. um, a lot of us I know use Amazon on the daily, but think about where Amazon was and where Amazon is now and where is it going. This is something that's real eye opener that would probably shock you or maybe not shock you on how we're using technology and what it possibly is and what it's possibly not doing, and who is at the helm of this space. So I recommend you taking a look at that. There is also the Facebook dilemma for the people who did the social dilemma. This is kind of this on the same lines of uh, how the social dilemma was made. What is Facebook doing kind of with your data? How is it manipulating you? All of those type of things. This is in two parts. So the first is, I think this is also a 2 hour documentary for you to look at. Again, this is just how has this social media site, this is one of the oldest social media sites that we've been using, how has this really impacted our community? How has it impacted our daily lives? So I really think you all should look at this and give your take on it. Again, this is a part one, and then this is part two. Then there is my favorite. Again, remember I told you I am a big time gamer. This is called Power On: The Story of Xbox. I listen to this quite often. And this is I think a period over 4 hours. Again, listen through all this through time. This is a lot. But this talks about how Xbox started and where it is now. Remember that of course Xbox is Microsoft, and there was a time where people thought this wasn't going to come to be. Like, are you serious? Why would Microsoft invest in a console? That's ridiculous. That was the mindset way back then. To think about where we are now. It, remember, Xbox is kind of one of the pioneers on why we are online gaming, why we communicate the way we communicate. So it's one of those pioneers. So take a look at that one. Then there's this. There's two different versions of this. There is a 14-minute version, and then I give the actual full 90-minute version. And what you're seeing here is the tech CEOs. When we're talking all these social media people, let's bring it on back. But the this happened was a few weeks ago, where all of these social media heads are on trial for a hearing on a lot of a few kids. I don't know if you've heard this or not. You know, have been killed or committed suicide due to social media. We're talking people on TikTok. We're talking people on Snapchat. We're talking people on Facebook. We're talking people on Discord. All of those social medias sites that we use. The issue with some of the Senate in our countries, everything pretty much in our society has been held accountable, but why isn't social media being held accountable? This was oh, and X is there. The only person that wasn't there was Twitch, which I found very interesting. But it's very eye opening because it's about, for me, in my opinion, it's about these bigwigs being reactive instead of proactive. But I would love to hear your take on it. Again, the full hearing is here, and there's the short version that I have for you guys as well. Then, in closing, I just thought for fun, if you have Netflix, for fun, look at Ready Player One. Knowing what you know now, how does this all now relate to a movie like this? Think about it. You've taken this class, okay, on digital fluency, digital literacy, all that stuff. We've gone through all of these things. We've talked about the social media. We've talked about I've added the gang stuff in here. We've talked about Amazon, all this social media stuff, and then we're all wrapping it up in this one big movie. I don't know if any of you have seen it or not. Again, these are on Netflix if you have access to it, or if you know somebody that has access to it. I think this all puts it all into one space, and I would love to hear some of you all's perspective, knowing what you know now, and looking at all these documentaries and videos. What is now your take on all this? Now that you've done even a fluency score check, what is your take on all of this now? Where do you think now we're going when it comes to all of these things? Where are we headed? What do we need to be cautious about? What do we need to take a few steps on? Where do we need to move forward with? So, those are some things I just want to share with you. I am going to put this playlist link for you to look at in the announcements below, so you'll have access to it. I'll put the Netflix. I obviously can't put the Netflix one there, but I'll just put on Netflix. Look for these movies. So you can have access to them. But again, I want you to take a look at those so you have access to them, and just give some thought now that you have gained some knowledge in your little digital toolbox there. So again, those are some things I have to say. I will come on here and do some a little bit more messages, but I want to share that with you and enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks.